You're watching FNN, the FUKK News Network.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers.
Oh, you know what this arrangement needs is something tall and green and prickly.
How about your mother?
Viewer discretion is advised.
SHMACKEMAGOB.
SHMACKEMAGOB, it's time for the only news that matters, and I want to thank Lars Tinderholt and friends for that SHMACKEMAGOB intro. Thank you so much, my friend. That was awesome. If you want to send a SHMACKEMAGOB intro, send it to this email right here, and I'll put it up in order it was received. All right, let's get into the only news that matters. And starting it off with some terrible news. Metal Church singer Mike Howe has passed away at the age of 55. The band wrote, "It is with our deepest regret that we must announce the passing of our brother, our friend and true legend of heavy metal music, Mike Howe. Passed away this morning at his home in Eureka, California. Please respect our privacy and the Howe family's privacy during this most difficult time." Man, I did not see this one coming. He took over for the late, great David Wayne and released some great albums. Blessed in Disguise, Human Factor, Hanging in the Balance. I mean, a terrible album cover, but man, check out the song End of the Age if you haven't. It is the epitome of an epic song. And the last two Metal Church albums, X1 and Damned If You Do, are great albums. I highly recommend them. I also have this album he did before Metal Church from a band called Heretic, called Breaking Point. Good stuff, man. Man, this is devastating. I never got to meet the man, but I did see him live 2 times, and he was amazing live. Great voice on the guy, and this is very sad news. So rest in peace, Mike Howe. And in more sad news, Jimi Hendrix's longtime girlfriend, Lithofane Pridegon, is that how you pronounce it? Just passed away, and she was 80 years old. And I remember her, as you're seeing this footage here, from a Jimi Hendrix documentary that I've owned for decades. And God, she's beautiful. What a beautiful girl. I think Jimmy may have wrote Foxy Lady for her, but I'm not sure. But it would make sense because she was Foxy, and it's sad to see that she passed away. So rest in peace, Lithofane. All right, next story. The Ronnie James Dio hologram is on hold. I don't know if we're going to do it again or not, says Wendy Dio. Now, I saw it. I saw the first one in America, which was in Fort Myers. And, you know, I mean, I've already talked about it, but in case you missed it, I thought the hologram looked kind of weird. It was strange, but I thought the tapes they used of Ronnie singing was amazing. And, you know, you had Ripper there and, who else? I forgot already. I know Simon Wright and I think Craig Goldie. I can't remember. It's been a while. It's been like a year or so. And I'm old and decrepit. But you know what? I left the show and I didn't, you know, hey, look, I enjoyed it. I know I didn't see Dio. But really, it's the same feeling I got when I go see any of these bands from back in the 80s that are lacking original members. A lot of them are using tapes. That I walk out of those shows saying, I didn't see that band that I saw in the 80s. It was a different thing. To me, it was exactly like the Dio hologram. It was a nice night out. I went with my dear friend Rhonda, who has since passed away. Rest in peace, Rhonda. We had a great time that night, but I didn't walk out thinking it was Dio. Just like the last time I saw Kiss. That wasn't Kiss, man. That's before Paul used tapes, by the way. He croaked his way through the show. It was horrendous. You know, and I'm not a big fan of, you know, these scabs that are impersonating Ace and Peter. It's not Kiss. It's not Dio. It's all the same shit to me. But the difference is, I did have a good time at the Dio show. The Kiss show, I walked out saying, that's it, I'm done. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the next story. Should Yngwie Malmsteen belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Well, you know, a couple months ago, they announced Randy Rhoads will receive a Musical Excellence Award at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. And they asked Yngwie if he thought he should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and his response was, you know, to be honest with you, I have a lot of awards and so on, and they're really nice and I appreciate them, but it doesn't validate me one way or another. Now, you all know how I feel about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Hey, people I love that's musically, I don't want them in there. Now, you know, if you, let's like take away the fact that it's a pompous, money-grabbing scheme where these people are charging $10,000 a seat. Let's take all that away and let's just pretend the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was legit. Then yes, I do think Yngwie Malmsteen belongs in there because no matter what you think of him, he was a game changer. He was very influential, and that's how people should be inducted in the place. People that influence. And early Yngwie was mind-blowing. And I just saw Yngwie this past week, and I really enjoyed the show. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, yeah, whatever. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame can suck these nuts. Next story. Paul Stanley of Kiss. Yay! I said it for all you people that want to hear me say it every single week, which it's not going to happen. But I just did it now. Has spoken out in support of Naomi Osaka. Kelly, a former anchor for NBC News and Fox News, criticized Osaka for appearing on the cover of Vogue Japan, Time, and Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazine after Osaka announced that she was going to be taking a break for her mental health. So Paul Stanley of Kiss, the hypocrite, says, anyone brave and strong enough to seek help for their struggles, whether physical or psychological, should be commended, supported, and applauded. It's vile that Megyn Kelly clearly finds joy mocking and ridiculing. Shame on you. Oh man. This is the guy. Should I even say it? Really? Should I even say how much he's slammed people? You know, Ace and Peter, they're drug abusers. He's still saying it even though they've been clean for decades. I mean, just read his book. He bashes everybody. He called Eric Carr a schmuck. And Bill Aucoin alluded that he was a pedophile after he died, of course, where he can't defend himself. I don't know. Every week I should just do a segment called Paul Stanley the Hypocrite. Alright, next story. Sebastian Bach announces Fall 2021 Slave to the Grind 30th Anniversary Tour. And it's coming down my neck of the woods on November 6th at the Culture Room in Fort Lauderdale, which I just saw Yngwie there this past Friday. Now, unfortunately, I would love to go see this show, but I can't because I am going with Malevolent Creation to Georgia, where on November 6th, they're taking part of a 3-day metal fest. And I'm going with them, which means I get to roadie for them, and I get backstage, and I get to meet my all-time favorite thrash band, Violence. And also, Nuclear Assault will be there, Syria Thungal, Suffocation, Repulsion, Malignancy, Usurper, Massacre, Monstrosity. I mean, there's a lot of killer death and thrash metal at this. And I'm going to be there. So anybody who's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia on November 5th, I think it's 3 days, come say hi. I'll be there. Well, I'll probably be backstage hanging out with the bands and stuff. But I'm sure I'm going to come out to watch the bands. So hopefully I'll see some of you there. But it is a shame I'm going to miss Sebastian doing the Slave to the Grind album, even though he is a twat. But I've said it a million times. If I only liked bands that didn't have twats and scumbags in the band, I would only own Rush CDs and Armored Saint CDs. Alright, next story. Gary Richrath. His guitar work was a signature element of REO Speedwagon sound throughout the Illinois band Glory years, and he remained a favorite even after his departure in 1989. Now fans will get to hear some new music more than 5 years after Richrath's death. You can hear it on YouTube. They released a song called Help Me Save Me From Myself from the Rich Rat Project 313. It's on YouTube, and I listened to it, and I really enjoyed it. And they're going to release it early August, the album. And I think they're re-releasing the first Rich Rat album, which is Only the Strong Survive, which I own. See, I'm a big fan of 70s REO. I liked High Fidelity, you know, for the most part. There's some songs I didn't like. And even Good Trouble had Stillness of the Night, a couple songs. But then after that, you know, they're known as the ballad band. But back in the 70s, they were a killer, grassroots, hard rock, hard-working band. And I love early REO, and I think their legacy was pretty much tainted. People think of Keep On Loving You and Can't Fight This Feeling when you think of REO. But really, y'all should listen to Golden Country, Heavy on Your Love, Riding the Storm Out, Back on the Road Again. They had a bunch of killer hard rocking songs that does not mirror what most people think of REO. Anyway, rest in peace, Gary, man. It's been 5 years already, and it's good to hear some stuff that never was released. And I really like that song, Help Me Save Me From Myself. All right, final story. Sammy Hagar tells UltimateClassicRock.com about his Vegas plans. I really want to blow people. Man, I guess it's true. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But really, this is not surprising because Sammy Hagar sucks. All right, this is the end of the news, and I want to thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and if you'd like to donate, I got a PayPal in the description below. And check out my podcast, the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast and the VIERA Vault, and I will be in Nashville in early August, just a couple weeks away, at the Rockin' Pod. And please, if you live in the Nashville area, or hey, if you want to travel, go to Rockin' Pod. It's awesome. They got record vendors. There's a lot of vinyl you can buy. There's a lot of memorabilia. There's going to be a lot of rock stars there. And I'm going to be there. And I would love to meet each and every one of you that are hearing my voice right now. It will be awesome to meet you all because I take none of you for granted. And I appreciate all you guys checking out my wacky and crazy stuff. So stay frosty, my friends. Listen to Black Sabbath and SHMACKEMAGOB.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain.